Well, we might have to edit out the picking your nose part.
I was biting my nail.
Oh, that's not what it looked like on camera. Okay, so the first thing we don't want to talk about is classes. You're not done. You're not done yet.
Nope.
You were up writing a paper.
Yep.
Are you done?
Yeah.
What was it?
What's the title of these papers that you write? I've never asked you that.
They're about like a play and how it fits into theater history. I don't want to talk about classes. I really don't want to talk about classes.
You didn't move, did you?
I shifted. I'm sure that I'm still in the camera.
Yep. Okay, so New Year's, nothing special, and we've talked about it. Okay, and Alias Grace, but we didn't talk about Normal Heart, which was the play at Muncie Civic Theater, which was good.
Yeah, it went really well.
And was super successful. How much money did they end up raising for the
I don't remember exactly, but it was over $2,000.
Really? Mm-hmm. Because you probably don't remember, but when I was talking to the guys afterwards, I thought you were at like $550.
I think when you came, I think we made it to like 700 that night. And then there were 3 more nights of the show.
Oh, maybe the 550 was the first night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. Well, that was a pretty huge success. Were there critical reviews of it? I mean, does the newspaper...
Really.
It's the Civic Theater. Doesn't the newspaper mention it?
No.
I wonder how... well, Muncie's a pretty liberal town. I would wonder how a play like that would go over in a really conservative...
So what was the gist of the story? I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it. Well, it was about... I thought I told you about it, though. It was about the beginning of recognition of the AIDS epidemic.
It was about pre-recognition of the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah, I suppose, in New York City. So there was a very small group of gay guys that knew something was going on, and correct me if I'm wrong here. And then there was a doctor who knew something was going on. They hadn't connected all the dots at that point. And then the activism of trying to get the city to kick in money and even recognize that there was a problem kind of thing.
Nobody would. Like, thousands of people had died before they even put any money into research for it, because it was happening to gay men, so nobody cared.
So nobody cared.
The federal government.
Yeah.
Well, and specifically in New York, because apparently the mayor at the time was single, and there were rumors that he was gay. And so not only did he not want to get involved, but he didn't want to confirm any rumors or anything.
Now, this was in the 80s? Mm-hmm. Who was mayor of New York? They didn't name him, did they?
I think they did, but I don't remember.
But there was one interesting thing, Norma. At one point, they were trying to get the city to fund. We lost her. Yeah. And they said, the mayor of San Francisco released $4 million for the... And the mayor of San Francisco was probably... oh, come on. Harvey Milk was probably the council at the time. Who was mayor? George Moscone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. So the play was historical. The main activist guy was a main activist guy.
And he was the playwright. Yeah, it changed his name because it's the playwright's story, essentially. It wasn't like, it was dramatized, it wasn't completely accurate, but for the most part.
Yeah. So it was educational as well as entertaining. You don't want to talk about Hallie and Spring Break.
No.
We talked about your 21st birthday, but he wants to know if you know, what was your first legal drink? What did you order?
My first legal drink was supposed to be a Blue Moon on tap, but they brought me a Blue Moon in a bottle. So my first legal drink was a Blue Moon.
Why did you want on tap?
Because I've had Blue Moon in a bottle before. I've never
Oh.
been able to legally have. I had never legally been able to have like a beer on tap. You know.
Okay.
We were actually at a party right before, and at the party they all counted down to midnight and sang "Happy Birthday" to me. And then everyone was like, "Here, take a drink," and I was like, "No, I want to buy my first drink." And so I didn't drink after midnight at all until we got to the bar.
What fantastic restraint. You don't want to talk about finals.
They're
What-
not over.
and they're
Haven't
not
really
over.
happened yet.
Oh, so classes haven't started yet?
Classes are over. This is finals
Finals.
week.
Oh, I see.
And you actually have a test.
I have 2 tests in my online class, and I have a final in my modern theater history class, which is the same class that I stayed up until 4 a.m. writing a 10-page paper for.
Why would you have to stay up until 4 a.m.?
Because I had
You could have started earlier.
because I had to go to Michigan for a funeral on Saturday.
Oh, that's
I
right.
had an award ceremony on Sunday, and I had 2 big projects due last Friday,
An
and so I
awards
had
ceremony.
I got a $1,000 scholarship.
Hey,
Oh,
I did.
this is the department scholarship. Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's
You
awfully. So
certainly
now
deserve it.
next year you'll get a little asterisk by your name.
I already have one. I got $700 or I got $600 last year, and $1,000 this year.
Not 600 plus 1,000, but
But,
600
yeah.
going to 1,000.
Yeah.
So 400. Well, that's
that's the
fantastic.
max you can get, isn't it?
No, there are some people who got like $2,500, but it's the max that I would have gotten because the $2,500 scholarships were mostly for performance majors, and they just went to the department's favorite people, not to people who
How
actually
many?
probably earned.
How many people in
$2,500.
the department are department scholars?
A lot.
Oh,
I'd say probably a third of us are
where do they
department
get all their
scholars.
money?
We do fundraise. I mean, like scholarship fundraising is a huge deal, and we've got some wealthy alum that donate, and a lot of parents and a lot of professors donate. We've
How
got a
nice.
pretty big scholarship fund. Yeah.
How nice.
Yep.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And you know that your FAFSA thing was approved, but you won't know.
They said I
money-wise
should
for-
know like mid-June.
Oh, really? That early? Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be nice. Well, I can't imagine that it goes down.
No.
It might not go up because you might be maxed out already. I know in the last video we talked about your Chicago thing, but tell us more about the living situation.
I'm living with some friends in May, and then I have an apartment in June and July. And I don't know where I'm staying in August. I'll figure that out.
Oh, I didn't know you were staying there in August. Don't you have
my-
to come home like the 1st of August?
My internship goes through the 11th, so I'm coming home on July. I'm going back to Muncie on July 31st to move out of my house. I'm going back to Chicago until the 11th. I'm coming back on probably the 12th to move into my apartment, and then I start rehearsals for my fall show on the 13th.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about the theaters, like where you're doing your internship and then where you're doing your assistant director.
The assistant directing is just with a theater company that some of my friends started.
What's
this
it
is
called?
The first show they've done is called Blue Goose Theater.
What?
Blue Goose Theater. We're just renting out a space.
Named after the old airline? You never knew there was an airline called the Blue Goose.
No. I think they're renting a space. I don't really know much about it yet. I haven't gotten super involved yet. And then the theater that I'm interning at is called Rivendell. It's a theater that mostly does it's like theater about women for women, essentially. Like all the directors, all the the people who actually work there and are the artistic directors are women, and they try to do all shows with female protagonists.
And when you get there, they'll be in production, or they'll actually be putting on a show.
They have a show going on right now, yeah.
Yeah. So we should come up and see that show, don't you think?
Sure. I mean, I won't have had anything to do with it, but
Well, you'll be around.
yeah.
You'll
and
need dinner.
Yeah.
and then there's some downtime getting ready for the next one.
No. No.
They're
Well,
rehearsing one show while they're putting on another?
No. Well, there's not. Town time is a weird word to use. They don't have auditions for the next show until August, but they have a huge gala in June. That's like their biggest like fundraising event of the year. So like as soon as Dryland ends, they start prepping. I think they're already starting to prep for the gala, and that's like.
What's the gala? You mean a party?
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I don't know anything about it
But
yet.
it's fundraising is the purpose.
It's the big
Oh.
fundraising event. And then it's all like marketing for the next show essentially and reading scripts and planning the next season and all that stuff.
But there won't be anything for us to come up and see before you leave.
No, I mean you can come see the show I'm assistant directing.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do that.
Yeah.
For sure. And that'll be put on, that'll be going by the time you leave?
Oh yeah. That opens like the second week of July.
Oh,
Yeah, they're already in rehearsals right now.
okay. Yeah, well, your dad's going to be home, but he'll, I think he'll be as confined, or we won't have as any more access to him than we do now. So we should be able to come up. Depending upon when the Giants are playing the Cubs, of course.
It runs for like 2 weeks, so you got options.
Well, we could coordinate, but that's not necessary.
I'll check it out.
We're going to Cincinnati tomorrow
Cool.
for the last of the Giants 3-game series.
That's
here.
awesome.
Sort of spur of the moment, but it turns out on Wednesdays they have, maybe it's not all Wednesday, but this Wednesday, it's like a senior citizen promo. So we got seats that are, where our seats are at AT&T. Well, if you go all the way down, but in the same section, there's what's called view boxes.
Yeah.
That are just above club level. So we've got, I think, the equivalent of that, $13.50 a seat.
Wow.
That's including tax. No,
for
that wasn't
seniors.
including taxes. Taxes were added on after that.
And probably
Still.
some handling fees
Yeah.
because we got them online, but still cheap.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that should be fun. It's only a couple hour drive down there.
No Cubs games in July.
No,
Oh well.
too bad.
We're not playing the White Sox.
And we're not playing the White Sox. No, Kenny asked about that. Oh well, that's the way it goes. What classes and events are you looking forward to in your senior year? Do you not want to talk about that either?
I don't know. I my schedule's not totally solid yet. I don't know that I can talk about that anything really.
Is it going to be a heavy schedule?
I'm gonna probably take a pretty heavy course load first semester so that I can take a really easy course load second semester.
And then
How many units do you need?
Well, that's a complicated question because I only need 12. If you look at the classes that I need, I only need 12 credit hours worth of classes. But if you just look at
To graduate?
to graduate, but you have to have like 120 credits to graduate.
Yeah.
And so I actually need like 29 credits, which means that I have to take a
So
bunch
that
of
would,
credits.
even it would be 15 or 15, 14.
Right.
But
Does that mean
you're
you-
gonna
what you
you're gonna
have
try to
some-
front load.
I'm gonna
it?
try to do like 18, yeah. But I'm TAing too. I'm TAing 3 classes next semester, 2 of which I'm gonna get credit for, and 1 of which I'm gonna get paid for.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
yeah. So I'll have 6 credit hours that's just TAing, which is still work, but at least it's not a class.
And that should be a lot of fun, actually.
So if you talk about the year, does that mean you're going to do capstone in the spring?
Probably, yeah. That's the goal.
Do you ask her this every?
Well, she was uncertain if it was going to be late in the,
Yeah.
the December
But she's
time
still
frame.
uncertain.
It'll be in the spring. I don't know when or what it'll be, but it'll be in the spring.
Okay,
Did we do it?
I don't know.
Did you make up a Google list of dark and
Dark and quirky plays.
I'm reading. I'm working with a friend. She's acting and dramaturging it for her honors thesis, and she's gonna like do whatever the lead role is. And I'm directing it, so we're kind of teaming up, and we're choosing a play together. She sent me like 4 plays in the last week, and I finally had to call her and be like, Maggie, I love you, but I don't have time to read these plays right
Wait,
now.
you've already picked out your leading lady?
Well, because she's going to do this as her honors thesis. And
Oh.
so she asked me to kind of team up with her.
So she has to do this as a requirement?
she has to do something, and we decided to team up and just work together. Because
So
I
you-
was probably going to ask her to do whatever I did anyway, because I would love to work with her.
Do we know her?
I don't think so.
We haven't seen her in anything.
I don't think so.
So you'll pick a play based on a character that she would do well with, I imagine.
I mean, any like strong female protagonist she could probably do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of nice because that's then something you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about.
and she's a senior acting major, so she's already talked to a lot of her class and said,
She's a senior now?
well, no, she's going to be a senior. She'll be
Okay.
a senior next year. She's in
Yep.
my class. And she's already talked to a lot of the other acting majors in her class and just mentioned that we're doing this and we don't know what we're doing, but that they're probably the people we're going to try to work with in some capacity. And a lot of them have already shown interest, but we don't know what we're doing yet. So
Well, I
don't
would take a
even
big
know.
load off if you've got actors that you know and
Exactly,
And want to be
yeah.
involved.
I've already talked to Isaac. He said if there's a part for him, he'll do it. And I think there's a couple other people, so I think it'll be cool. I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be cool.
yeah. Is Isaac any further along on his summer? Or is he all set?
He's
You
set.
told us last time he's got a place to live?
Mhm.
Wow.
He
The
drives-
Big Apple.
He drives to Connecticut on the 16th.
Of May?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He leaves a week after I do.
And will he be there basically all summer?
He'll be there until like the second or third week of July. So
Oh.
he's actually got like a month to come back to Muncie, which I'm kind of jealous of. I am very excited for my internship. I wish it ended 3 weeks sooner so that I could go back to Muncie and
Oh, that
You know.
that end is going to be very hectic for
yeah.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
I might talk to them because I already asked if I could end because I'm supposed to end the internship on the 12th. I already asked if I could end on the 11th because I have rehearsals that start on the 13th, and that would just be a lot. And she said, yeah. And I honestly, when I get there, might ask if I can just cut down to like 2 or 3 days a week, the last, 2 weeks of it, so that I could actually get some stuff done and not be
Yeah.
drowning.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to be there for the opening of the show anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. And once you're in and they realize that you're good and you're not trying to scam them, that probably work.
Oh,
with you.
and Sophie, who was in my show, she was the lead in my show in the fall.
What part did she play?
The only girl in the show. Oh, well, not the teacher, but the main girl.
Well, now wait a minute. I'm getting confused.
The
about
girl
which
that
show
was
is which.
kind of flighty and,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, my show. Show I directed.
Oh, the
Speech and debate.
yeah, speech and debate. Okay. Yeah.
She has the same internship as I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
You mean she's going to be up there with you? Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the same thing.
she got a place to live?
She was looking for somewhere last time I heard. I honestly haven't asked her in about a week and a half. But I'm sure she does. Yeah, I think she does.
Huh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was the one we said, gee whiz, she played that part so well, and you said
Because she is.
that's her personality.
Yeah. Yep.
Which might not be that good. It might not be that charming in real life. It was very charming in the show. She was great for that.
We've seen some fun things that you've done.
Well, I am impressed every time by the talent that, these people they've got basically no experience, and yet they just can act. It's amazing. I mean, I think the most amazing one to me so far, just because of her age, was Grace.
She won a Rookie of the Year scholarship when we were all like, yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, she did.
yeah, she could have a great future.
And she's got a good part, and she's in Christmas Carol next semester.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's going to get parts. She's
She
pretty much
actually
gonna
was
get-
up for a few leads, and they basically were like, no, we need to give these to seniors. She's a freshman and she's already had a really great opportunity. We know she's good. She'll get more opportunities.
Well, I hope that there isn't an overreaction to that, because she should get a lot of parts.
Yeah.
But yes, of
I
course.
think that they might make
Spread it
her
around.
wait until her junior year or so for another real lead, which I think is fair, because that still will give her 3 semesters of chances to get really, really good parts, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to keep other people from having it.
Because otherwise she's going to get all the female leads for the next 3 years, and that's
Well,
not
she
fair.
could, and of course that's not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she could, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what we saw. And she can sing, too.
Yeah, she got called back for the lead in the female lead in Parade, and, like, was probably our second choice.
As a freshman, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. I wonder, she must have been very active in theater in high school, because she was super poised.
She's from Seattle.
Really?
Yeah, so my guess is that she was around a lot of arts.
Why would a person from Seattle come
Ball
over?
State Theater, the Ball State Theater program recruits people from out of state because they can get more money.
Yeah.
So their big thing is, like, if you go to the freshman showcase of, like,
But you
the
know how
freshman
far
musical
it is
theater
from
majors.
here to Seattle?
Oh, I know. If you go to the like freshman showcase when all the freshman musical theater majors like sing, it says their name and it says where they're from, because our department knows that they can get more money from people if they recruit people from out of state, and they like being able to say
Well, just because of out-of-state tuition, right?
Mm-hmm.
What other money?
that. Yeah, I mean, out of state
Well,
tuition
so
is like
Ohio is out-of-state, too.
technically not, because I mean it is, but they have like a Midwest. There's like a Midwest like scholars program.
Oh, they probably have some sort of an agreement,
Yeah,
maybe with Missouri and...
yeah.
I don't
I think
know,
the
but
department
still,
also likes
Seattle,
being able to say
yes.
we have students from 35 states or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
And I wonder if that girl is going through a little culture shock, because Washington is a pretty liberal state,
Oh,
and
I'm sure she
Seattle
is a
is a
little
pretty
bit.
liberal.
Yeah, but she's in Muncie.
Yeah,
We asked her.
but Muncie's in Indiana.
We asked her once if she had any financial aid, and she was like, "No, I'm paying a lot of money to be here." And we were like, "Why? Why are you doing this?"
Well,
Doesn't Muncie or doesn't Ball State have a really good reputation?
They do. They
yeah,
do.
they do. Yeah, I mean, she wouldn't. Yeah, there's a reason why
You
she's
have
here,
kids
but
from New
maybe
York
it's.
and things
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, we've got a really
There.
good program. That's
Yeah.
It's more just like, God, why would you pay that much more for out of state tuition? Especially because she's from Washington. I'm sure there's some art schools there. I'm sure
Oh, yeah.
there's some good art
well,
schools.
and then add in the travel back and forth. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, she's 18 years old, so she's going to want to go home.
I think
also.
she comes. I mean, I can guarantee she comes from money.
Probably, yeah.
And so I think that if I came from that kind of money, out of state schools would be my first option too, because it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
Right. Right. If your family has enough money, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Malia is going to have any financial worries at Harvard, even though it's $100,000 a year, or I guess it's up to maybe 120.
Can't remember what Greg said.
We told you that Julia's little brother Vaughn has been accepted to Stanford, and they're trying to see if he can go there.
Now that he's 18, I've learned that I've been spelling his name wrong all these years.
Oh no.
How have you been
I thought it was
spelling?
V-O-N. And I was just reading the...
V-O-N?
Yeah.
Norma!
Why wouldn't it be?
Well, he's named after a mathematician. Anyway, V-O-N might be German for from, but in English it's V-A-U-G-H-N.
I sent Lisa an email.
Lisa just posted a bunch of stuff on Snapchat or something. Have you looked at it?
I haven't.
Pictures?
I didn't get the email yet that had the Snapchat link. The only one I've gotten is the eulogy in the paper.
Oh, was
it's-
that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, shall we go, or is it too early?
We can go.
What time is it?
10
It's
after
5.
5.
Oh, we can go.
Take us 15 minutes to get over
crowded.
there.
Yeah.
Then when we get home, some of the election returns will be on.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
Pry him out of the chair.
over and out.